All right. How you doing, folks? I just wanna. A lot of times, what I do is I say a lot of things that's off camera, and I do a lot of pondering on things. But one of the things I'm going to touch on today has a lot to do with getting over, forgive, but you will never forget, and moving on. And I felt the need, I need to share this, touch on this real quick because I think that this is something that I pretty much need to expound on. This is important because, even with the family dynamic and what we go through daily, not just with family, but with also friends and, mutual friends, beneficial friends, all friends alike, associates, whatever. One of the things that, I just really need to touch on, first and foremost, is getting over. Now, the importance of getting over is more so for yourself. You're going to get over it eventually. It's going to blow over. You have to pretty much focus on what you need to focus on. The thing is, a lot of things are going to be thrown at you. You might divorce. You might go through a nasty breakup. You might go through a nasty divorce. You might have family members that are attacking you. You might just have friends who out of nowhere, slander you, whatever the case. And you may have people that talk behind your back without you being there, of course. You're not there, but they're talking behind your back. The attack is on. The attack is on for real. You're going to get that from all kinds of people that you didn't even expect to even attack. Now, because of you may be going through something. You may be going through a tragedy. Of course, we're talking about a death. We're referring more to a death in the family. You may be struggling. You're just going through a whole lot in your life, and your focus needs to be on, if you're going to school, you're working, your focus needs to be just on that. Especially if you're trying to achieve to the next level. You're trying to get to that next level. And getting to that next level, there's going to be all kinds of things that's going to be thrown at you. Like, this is how it works. Good things are getting ready to happen for you. And then the attack is on. Here comes opposition ready to shoot. Ready to shoot at you. They're coming at you from all different angles. But you're focused. And when I'm also saying focus, I'm also meaning faith in God too. Your faith in God needs to be a lot stronger. That's what it means to be a soldier in this life. You be a lot stronger. Have more faith in God. Understand something. You're thankful and grateful to be where you're at right now. But do not allow for any negative-minded or bad-minded people get all in your head and throw you off your focus and throw you off your pivot. Especially when things are going right for you. Things are going good for you. And when you're struggling right now, and I salute all those that are struggling now, are going through things, but are still managing to keep their composure and still focus on what's more important, is bettering yourself. That's why getting over is important. Getting over is important. Getting over that hump of struggle. A lot of people ain't going to understand that because they're not in your shoes and they're not where you're at. They pass a lot of judgment. They pass a lot of judgment. Some people will even distance themselves from you because you're not where they're at right now. But if you're somebody that's working, you're somebody that's striving, you're somebody that's continuing on your education to make things better, believe me, you're in a good position. Don't let nobody tell you different. You're in a good position. Because you're making it happen and you're going to make it work. The motivation that you're keeping yourself grounded in is enough to say to yourself that things are going to get better. You're content. And you're going to get over this. Also, getting over things in your life, getting over things that have been said when you wasn't in presence, getting over things that this life, man, is hard. It's really hard to rise above. But that's important to do that. That's why getting over is important. Now I'm going to move on to the next thing. Forgive, but never forget. It's important that we forgive. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. You already know the scriptural quote, that saying. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. You must, the one being that we must always go to is God. You must always go to God. Before you talk to anybody, you must always go to God. Matter of fact, don't even talk to nobody. Don't talk to nobody. Don't speak to nobody. Don't say anything to anybody on the phone about nothing. Talk to God. Talk to God about it. Because you're going to find one thing about God. God hears. He understands. He listens. What we put out there in the universe, it comes back to us tenfold. You praying against somebody, it's coming back to you tenfold. The universe is going to work against you. God, more so, will see to it that He shows you signs along the road that if that's the energy you're trying to put out there, then it's going to come back to you tenfold. But if you are motivating, you are inspiring, you are pretty much, bringing good karma to others. You're positive-minded towards others. You love and you respect others. And that's the energy that you're projecting out towards other people, then it's going to come back to you tenfold. Period. But if you're somebody that's negative-minded and you feel otherwise and you're working against that person or what have you, then the energy reciprocates. I don't need to tell you any more on that one. But all I'm saying to you is, those who do work against you, those who do bring malice or try to bring, some type of darkness to your heart or whatever the case, slander you, whatever negative thing you can think of. Just know one thing. Counterattack that with your positive energy. There's going to be a lot of things you're going to even say out of your mouth. You just mad at the moment. But always ask God for forgiveness. That's important. Always ask God for forgiveness. You're not going to forget it. You're not going to forget what they said. You're not going to forget what they've done or whatever like that. But for you, you must ask for forgiveness. Bottom line. It's important that you ask for forgiveness. It's very important. Because when you ask for forgiveness, when you're being forgiven, it opens up a passageway for you to more so breathe, and the certainty and the faith that you have in God will open up a lot more, abundantly. Forgive others as well. Forgive them. Doesn't matter whether they don't come to you. It doesn't matter whether they don't forgive you. You forgive them. You make amends with them. Doesn't matter. Listen, I've done my part. That's more so how I look at it. I've done my part. That's it. I've done my part. But more so, the individual that needs forgiveness is myself. That's what's more important. That I need the forgiveness from myself. So I can do what? Next subject, next topic. So that I can move on. Or in the process of moving on. You'll never forget. You'll never forget. No one's saying that you got to forget anything. Especially if there's a lot that you're going through. You're not going to forget anything. But you forgive. So that way you can transfer on to moving on. Just that simple. Moving on. Moving on is a process of getting over. But at this point, you've reached the level that you're at in life. Either you're almost there or you're getting there. And so when you're moving on at this point to say, you know what? I put all that behind me. I'm here now. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I'm content on how things are, even though sometimes we like to pretend that things is all good. But in a way, though, you have to more so look at your life, and you have to more so look at where you are. I'm a work in progress. I know that. But you have to more so look at yourself and look within inside yourself and really look outside of yourself and look within yourself. You love yourself enough that you love everything that's around you. You're not going to settle for less. You love yourself enough that you are content on where you are. You're making it happen. It's going to get better. You're positive forward thinking. Here goes that phrase again. Positive forward thinking. That's one of the mechanisms of positive forward thinking. Moving on. Moving on. It doesn't matter what someone thinks of you, or what someone said of you at this point, or what they're saying about you right now. You're moving on. That's point blank period. You're moving on now. You're moving on. You suppress your mind with more of the important things in life. What's more important now. You're so positive about this life. You wake up in the morning and you're thankful to God that you've woken up, even though you might have experienced some aches and pains. But you're up. You're up. It's a new day now. It's time to move on. I'm not talking about moving on from, moving on from a death of a family member, because when it comes to your mother or your father, you will never forget them. You can't. It's even at times while you're moving on, you'll always think of them. But think of all the positive blessings that they were in your life, the influence that they was in your life. Think about that for a second. Think about that all throughout your travels and your movement. Think about that and say to yourself, this is my motivation for moving on. Because this is how my father and my mother think about me. If everything was good with them, if they, especially if the way that they felt about you, they loved you, they had so much immense love for you. Unconditional love. That they told you in their lifetime that they was proud of you. That's one of the mechanisms for moving on and having positive forward thinking. Because you remember all those good things that they said about you. Real talk. So I can more so move on from this point on. And I know I'm going a little bit off, off the radar a little bit, but I just want to more so expound on moving on has also a lot to do with being positive, having a positive outlook on everything. See, one thing we should do in the morning is we should give about 5-15 minutes. As soon as you wake up, you give yourself 5 or 15 minutes to pray. Pray to God for all the things that I've just expounded on. I know probably for some people, they might, some of you might look at this video and you might say, well, I more so put forgiveness in front of getting over, because I want to forgive first, but I will never forget. But I think that I want to forgive first and foremost before I can get over anything. However way you want to do it. I mean, you could change these mechanisms around. You could change these things around if you like. However you deal with things in life. If you feel like forgiveness is the first step, and then getting over is the second step, and that moving on is the third step, then more power to you. Because either way, using these three mechanisms in life, I call these things mechanisms of positive forward thinking. That's what I call them. Because if you feel like you have to forgive first, then get over, then move on, then the process is still working the same way. But either way, getting over it eventually, asking for forgiveness, forgiving others. Of course, you'll never forget, but moving on is just as important. See, you're happy about life. You're happy about everything is not going to go according to plan. Everything's not going to go according to, it's really not about pleasing other people. It's about pleasing God, and second is about pleasing yourself. You love God first, then you love others. You love God, you love God first. Most important thing is, you love God first. You love yourself. One thing's for sure. You are in the process of building. An expansion is happening for you. An expansion is happening for you. It's happening. Just got to be content. You just have to be content with yourself. You have to really look around you and look at all the beautifulness that's around you already. Look at what you already have. Feel good about that. We must not always compare ourselves to other people. At the end of the day, you are who you are. You're not them. You're not this person over here. You're not that person over there. You're not anybody else but you. That's it. So what if they don't get who you are? You are who you are. You're who you are. That's it. You're who you are. No one's going to get it. It shouldn't even matter. It really shouldn't even matter anymore how much opposition you have. Good people are always going to have opposition. They're going to always have somebody that's going to work against them. When you're standing on truth, when you're standing on sincerity, when you're standing on everything that's genuine, you're going to always have people that's going to work against you. You're going to always have those who you never expected out of nowhere to come against you. It always happens. Doesn't a superhero have his villain? Doesn't the good guy always have the bad guy? Where there's positive energy, there's negative energy. I'm not saying that that's how it's supposed to be in life, but that's the rules of nature. That's the laws of nature. Opposites, kind of, sort of, in a way, attract. If you're a person that's full of heart, you're going to always have heartless people that's going to come in your midst. You got to continue to be the person that you are. Period. This falls under moving on. At this point, this falls under moving on. After I've done my duty as a good citizen, especially when we talk about after I'm already done my job, time to close up, it's over with. Throughout that whole day, you had all those disagreements with several coworkers. Something happened, you got into an argument with your boss or something. Don't you move on from there? As soon as I close up, I forget all that. I forget everything that happened when I was on the clock. I forget all that stuff that happened. It's behind me. I'm home now. I'm chilling. I'm home. I don't want to talk about it no more. That's how much I moved on. That's how much I moved on. That's what we must do with life. I don't care how many people going to slander your name. I don't care how many people working against you, coming against you. You move on from that. You do what you still got to do. You do what you do. Do you. Period. At the end of the day, you're who you are. At the end of the day, you feel thankful, you feel blessed, you feel grateful for who you are. That's it. They don't have to agree with everything that you do. But it's not for them to agree. It's not for them. I do what I do. I don't have to be accepted by everybody. That's a figment of our imagination, feeling like we got to be accepted by everybody. Feeling like everybody got... Man, moving on is just that. You wasn't there, then why do I care about your feelings? Why do I care how you feel about it? Why do I give a hoot or what you think of me? I'm doing this right now. It is what it is. My life has to have a grand opening at this point. But it's not going to involve you. You're not there in the beginning to see that it transpires to anything. So why should I care about how you feel about something and your opinion on anything? Are you living this life for me? Are you doing anything for me? You're not. God opened up the door for this to happen. Not you, not you, not you. God opened up the door for this to happen. And he's going to keep continuing on doing that. Because the more and more I walk these steps with certainty, the more and more I keep on. The more and more I keeping on. That's what I'm trying to say. The more and more I keep my faith in him, the more and more he's going to open up doors. I think it's really that simple as that. You got to work at it. We're all work in progress. Everything ain't going to be perfect. Everything ain't going to be like everybody else. Are you trying to be like everybody else, or are you just trying to be like you? I think some of you have to ask yourself that question. Are you trying to be like everybody else, or are you just trying to be, or are you just simply just being you? I know the answer to that question. I'm just simply trying to be me. That's it. All I know is to be me. That's it. I don't know anybody else to be. God created me as Isaac George Mesquita, and that's it. I can't be nobody else. I can't live nobody else's dream. I know the dream I want to live. I know how I want to live. I know what I want to do. And I'm striving to do what I'm going to. I'm striving to do what I'm living, what I'm going to live out this life to do. Your plan is not my plan. Yeah, sure. God shows us things along the road. God opens up certain things. It's probably a lot of doors we done. It's probably a lot of doors we left closed. Probably a lot of doors we didn't open. We didn't open up a lot of doors. Probably a lot of missed opportunities that we passed on by. But God does that too. God puts you in a room full of doors to see which one you're going to open. It's your choice. It's your choice what door you're going to open. When it really comes down to it. It ain't nobody else's choice but yours to open up that door. That room of many doors that you're in is your choice on which door you want to open. I mean, it gets no simpler than that. So yes, when you live in this life also, you get over, you forgive, you'll never forget, but you're always going to move on. And bigger and better things. Positive forward thinking is where it's at. Live life and love God. Plain and simple. Peace.